With Nintendo's plan to reveal the Switch 2 before the end of the current fiscal year, more and more information is slowly coming out about what we could expect to see in regards to this successor, and Nintendo did recently just confirm that the Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible, but there's a catch. While the Switch 2 may be backwards compatible, Nintendo did not confirm whether or not we'll still be able to use our old cartridges. Nintendo would drop this news shortly after it revealed that it expects to sell less Switch hardware than it hoped to by the end of the year. The Nintendo president then took to Twitter to say, quote, "Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to Nintendo Switch." End quote. More than that, you'll be able to keep your Nintendo Switch Online account on the sequel console to the Nintendo Switch. It is quite a strange way to word such a message, as it did leave a big hole in players' expectations. His last point about compatibility with the Nintendo Switch hints that Switch cartridges may not be fully compatible with the new console, and in all likelihood, players' downloaded games will be portable, but Nintendo may have to do some extra magic trickery to facilitate the use of physical media that players may already own. Nintendo references the Switch Online account as the main way it plans to maintain a continuous relationship with the consumer across platform generations. The company said it would use the quote-unquote Nintendo account to carry its good relationship with players, and I feel like this is Nintendo's way of meeting in the middle, where we're able to bring across the older games without limiting the new ones, where of course if they did make the physical cartridges backwards compatible on the new Switch, they would probably have to make that port somewhat similar to the original Switch, which means future Switch 2 games would have to be in the form factor of a similarly sized cartridge style vessel, which of course isn't the best for the Switch 2, as it should hopefully be quite a big jump, as many players did feel like the Switch wasn't a big enough jump, especially given the fact that the console would live alongside the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, and then go on to live alongside the Xbox Series X and the PS5, which were way ahead of the curve in terms of their power. So it would be cool to see the Switch 2 go in a new direction and try be a little bit more focused on performance and power while still offering that classic Nintendo experience. But of course, definitely drop a comment down below, guys, on what you think about this, as it is pretty interesting to see how Nintendo is handling this, given how the releases of their previous consoles went, and they were quite heavy on backwards compatibility, at least up until the Nintendo Switch. So it would be interesting to see how this console actually releases, and whether or not this statement was just worded badly and that it will be able to play physical cartridges for the Nintendo Switch, or if it will genuinely just be those that have the online versions of these titles. But of course, time will tell as to what we will get for Nintendo. But in terms of the Switch 2 itself, at the very least, Nintendo is sticking to its guns and says it plans to announce the console this fiscal year, which ends in March 2025. And having a sequel Switch on the horizon hasn't done anything to help hardware sales, of course, but hopefully it should help boost the sales a tiny bit, or at least reduce the amount that they are dropping at, as if there are players that were waiting on the Switch 2 and not touching the Switch at all, at least they can have some comfort knowing that if they do want to buy the Switch, the original Switch, that is, for games like Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or Monster Hunter Generations, then they can do this without too much fear of losing these titles in the future when the more powerful and future-proofed console releases. I think the takeaway from this, guys, is that if there is any game on the Nintendo Switch that is releasing in the near future that you are looking to pick up, it may be worth considering the digital version, especially if the physical cartridge is what you usually would pick up, which of course would make sense, as there are many players out there that do prefer to collect the physical versions of these titles just so you can hold them in your hand opposed to having them on the internet. And it also allows you to share those games more easily and sell them more easily as well. And I don't even think you can return Switch games on the Nintendo Store, so that is definitely another little positive to having a physical cartridge, which does make sense as to why many do prefer that over a digital version. But if you are worried that you might not be able to play these games on your Switch 2, the digital version may be the main thing for you to look at. But with that said, that does bring us to the end of this video. Definitely drop a comment down below as to what you think about this comment from Nintendo and how they are handling backwards compatibility, and I look forward to reading how the discussion continues. Be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy the video. It does help out the channel a ton and it is extremely appreciated, and definitely subscribe for a lot more tech content. And don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. It is a great little place if you are looking to get in touch with us directly, and of course we would love to have you in there to start building a little community out of this channel. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ams from Tech2, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.